Good day, everyone. You are welcome to this week's Business and Investment Tips program, a production of RCCG Christ Church Radio with Ayodeji Ebo, an investment professional. This week focuses on Nigeria's Q3 2023 GDP report. Last week, the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) published the Gross Domestic Product (GDP) data for the third quarter of 2023. The Nigerian economy grew for the 11th consecutive quarter. Real GDP improved to 2.54% year-on-year, that is Q3 2023 versus Q3 2022, higher than the growth of 2.25% year-on-year recorded in Q3 2022 and 2.51% year-on-year recorded in Q2 2023. The improvement in growth in the third quarter can be attributed to the considerable growth in the oil sector amid lower performance in the non-oil sector. The GDP tracks how an economy performs and measures the value of all goods and services produced in an economy in a given period, usually a quarter or a year. Real GDP reflects the actual value of goods and services produced without the influence of price movements. Simply put, the GDP of a sector can be affected by both the volume of goods and services produced and the respective prices. Nevertheless, what's important is the increase in goods and services produced rather than price increases. Nigeria's GDP report captured 19 sectors, but only 5 sectors account for 72.8% of total activities in the economy. These are agri 28.6%, ICT 15.6%, trade, wholesale and retail 14.9%, manufacturing 8.2%, mining and quarrying 5.5%. The non-oil sector, which accounts for 94.5% of Nigeria's GDP in Q2 2023, remained the driver of the GDP. The non-oil sector grew by 2.8% year-on-year in Q3 2023, lower than 3.6% year-on-year growth in Q2 2023 and 4.3% in Q2 2022. On the other hand, oil theft reduced marginally as oil production volumes rose to an average of 1.5 million barrels per day in Q3 2023 from 1.2 million barrels per day in Q2 2023 and 1.2 million barrels per day in Q3 2022. The oil sector recorded its 11th consecutive contraction, moderating by a much slower negative 0.85% in Q3 2023 as against negative 13.4% in Q2 2023 and negative 22.7% in Q3 2022. Based on the contribution of sectors to GDP, the agriculture sector picked up significant momentum, 29.3% in Q3 2023 versus 23% in Q2 2022. While the contribution of the services 52.7% in Q3 2023 versus 58.4% in Q2 2023, and the industry 18% in Q3 2023 versus 18.6% in Q2 2023. Sectors declined. The industrial sector reverted to the positive path after taking a breather in Q2 2023, growing at 0.5% in Q3 2023. Growth in the services sector remains strong at 4% year-on-year in Q3 2023, and the agricultural sector grew 1.3% in Q3 2023. The services and agricultural sectors are yet to return to their peak growth levels. Our takeaways: 1. 17 out of the 19 sectors achieved positive growth in Q3 2023, with the mining and quarry and transportation and storage remaining in the negative territory. 2. Due to high prices in petroleum products, petrol, diesel and gas, the devaluation of the naira and higher crude oil prices, growth in the transportation sector stayed in the negative, printing at 35.9% year-on-year. This was dragged by road transportation subsector, which grew by negative 55.4% year-on-year in Q3 2023. The higher transportation cost will reduce customers' demand and road transport owners' margins. However, we expect this to improve in the fourth quarter due to the festive season. 3. Oil production increased to 1.5 million barrels per day in Q3 2023 though still below the OPEC quota of 1.8 million barrels per day and below 1.7 million barrels per day assumption for the 2023 approved budget. The oil sector is on the verge of exiting its recession with a marginal contraction of 0.9%. The sustained weakness in the sector can be attributed to the low investment in the oil and gas sector due to insecurity and inconsistency in policy. 4. The agricultural sector experienced a slowdown to 1.3% in Q3 2023 due to the prolonged insecurity in the food-producing areas, high inflation rates, and higher transportation costs. However, the livestock subsector came out of the woods with a positive growth rate of 1.2% in Q3 2023, while the crop production subsector moderated to 1.4% year-on-year in Q3 2023 from 1.8% year-on-year in Q2 2023. 5. Growth in the ICT sector slowed to 6.7% in Q3 2023 versus 8.6% in Q2 2023, dragged by the telecommunications subsector, which slowed to 7.7% in Q3 2023 versus 9.7% in Q2 2022. Despite the slowdown, the numbers remain strong as Nigeria sustains strong spending on voice and data. 6. The trade sector's growth performance came in lower in Q3 2023 at 1.5% relative to 2.4% in Q2 2023 due to FX devaluation and illiquidity. Devaluation reduces the ability to import as more naira will be required for business transactions. Overall, despite the improvement in the real GDP, most of the sector slowed down due to higher prices of petroleum products, devaluation, and non-clarity on the direction of the economy. However, we expect improvement in the oil production in Q4 2023 due to federal government's continued determination to reduce oil theft. This may boost GDP growth in the coming quarters. The festive season is also expected to boost business activities, although marginally, given the high inflation rate and FX devaluation that have reduced real income. Notwithstanding, we project a 2.8% year-on-year growth in Q4 2023. Notably, we need to grow at 5% for Nigerians to experience all-inclusive growth. Thank you for listening. Please join us same time next week for another interesting and insightful session. For questions, comments, and feedback, kindly forward to ebo.ayodeji@gmail.com or send an SMS to 070-8246-3747. Stay blessed.